All right, folks, today is Buckbrush Eradication Day. You guys have heard me talk about how much I hate this stuff, about how it is not helping me, gets in my way, competes for nutrients, competes for water. I trip over it, and it blocks visibility of the water from the air, from a duck's eye view. So I'm taking it out. Now, I know some will say, oh, no, you need to leave that buckbrush because the deer feed on it. I think there is a difference between buckbrush and buttonbrush. And I think there is some buttonbrush in here. Buttonbrush will form these little round seed heads that the ducks will eat. But it's not a preferred food source from what I have been able to learn, and certainly doesn't provide as much nutritional value per acre. Remember we talked about duck use days? That's the amount of food you have to feed one duck for one day, and you get about 33,000 duck use days from an acre of unharvested rice. I've got less than an acre here, but a lot of duck food. So we don't get as much, even if I am killing buttonbrush, we don't get as much duck food from it as we do from the rice. And also on top of that, like I said, it competes for resources with the rice and the millet and the smart weeds. It gets in my way, and if it takes this place over, and looking out 3 years ago, you couldn't see across here because buckbrush was over your head. So over the last 3 years, we've really done a lot to take it out, but it's hard to kill. It does not want to die. So that's why I am spraying the 2,4-D. So let's take a minute. We'll go back up to the truck and let me show you my process for getting this 2,4-D ready to spray on the buckbrush. All right, so as you saw, I'm trying to kill buckbrush in the big hole. For all the reasons that I've stated in the past. It competes with nutrients and water. It shades things out. It will take over if you let it. So I'm trying to get rid of it. So I did some research, and it looks like 2,4-D is a product that will kill it. I tried Roundup, and Roundup didn't really seem to work. So I'm hoping that this 2,4-D will take care of it. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm using. Now, I picked up this product as well as the other stuff I'm going to show you at Home Depot, at Tractor Supply. They don't carry this kind of thing at Home Depot. And this is just 2,4-D. They make products that contain 2,4-D at Home Depot. Yeah, this is almost 62% 2,4-D. When you go to Home Depot and get something like the Weed Begone, that kind of thing, then it will have, like 4 or 6%, a pretty small amount of 2,4-D, and it is also going to include some other products like quinclorac to help kill crabgrass, I believe, as well as a couple of other active ingredients. The problem is I think those will also kill some of my desirables. I don't trust it on rice. I sprayed some earlier in the season as a test area on some of the wild millets that I have, the barnyard grass that we have, and it killed it. It just wiped it out. So this 2,4-D is supposed to be safe on the rice. Fingers crossed. It did talk about in the label about it being safe for millet. I'm probably not going to be spraying it in areas where I planted that millet a week ago. And, I would question if it would harm millet that's that young, if it's come up. We'll see later. But it should be safe for the rice, which has been growing for a while. It will, however, kill smartweed. So if I'm spraying an area of buckbrush and there's smartweed around it, I'm probably going to kill some of that as well. But all the things that I'm trying to kill right now, these small buckbrush plants, so it's going to be just a small area of smartweed. That's a trade-off that I'm willing to take because trying to kill that buckbrush, as I've mentioned, it competes for water and nutrients with my crops that I have growing. It gets in my way. If you let it take over, you can't find a duck in this stuff, right? The dog can't even get through it. It grows that thick. So I really am trying to eradicate most of it as much as I can in the areas where I'm hunting most frequently. So that's what we're going to be working on today with this, is to try to get that buckbrush taken care of. So as I mentioned, this isn't a product I think that is intended just for the kind of casual homeowner trying to keep weeds out of his yard. As such, it doesn't have real specific instructions on how to use it with a spot sprayer like this. They give you instructions on like a pints per acre, depending on the desirable plants that you have and what you're trying to kill. So you kind of have to go through there and try to figure out what your label rate is for a spot sprayer, and they give pretty non-specific instructions. Probably people with more experience than I will understand this better. But what I worked out, I think for the rate that I want is about 1.5 ounces for 2 gallons. I've got 2 gallons of water here. I think 1.5 ounces. Maybe I'll lean a little heavier on it. Go up to 2 ounces for the spot sprayer is what I want. This is a highly concentrated product, so it really shouldn't take a bunch of the product to kill the weeds, or the buckbrush, I should say. So that's what I'm going to go with this. I tried to sort it out. If anybody has used this before in a spot sprayer application, you think I'm using it at the wrong rate, by all means leave me a comment below and let me know, because I would find that very helpful. I tried to interpret this best I could. I'm not 100% confident I got it right. I am also going to add a surfactant to it, which is, again, as I said, got this at Tractor Supply. What the surfactant does is it will help the product do its job, right? And if you take this stuff, if you open this stuff and give it a sniff, it kind of smells like dishwashing liquid. I think it's basically a detergent. What I've read about this stuff is it helps break down kind of the waxy protective layer that plants have on their leaves to prevent, you know, contamination or infection or whatever. It breaks that down, allows the herbicide to get to the leaves so they can work more effectively. So I forgot what the rate is off the top of my head. I think some is what I've used in the past. I'll probably drop a couple ounces in here just to help it. And then a product that I like to use, and I do use this at home as well when I'm spot spraying weeds around the yard, is this spray indicator. This is really handy stuff right here, because it will show up as blue. Obviously it's blue, so you'll see on the leaves of the plants where I've already sprayed it. It helps you know if you've already sprayed a place or not. So that should help out with that, so I don't double spray some spots and miss some other spots. Once it gets a good rain on it, it washes away. It will stain your fingers if you touch it, but in a day or two it wears off. This isn't a real long-lasting dye where it's going to really cause problems. Really all it's going to do is just give you a little bit of assistance while you're there. I've sprayed it in the driveway, in a couple days it's gone, that kind of stuff. Like I said, once it rains on it, it pretty much washes away. So I'll add all of those products here to my 2-gallon sprayer, and then we'll take it down the hill and start spraying some buckbrush and see if it helps. We won't know, obviously, for a couple weeks maybe if it's effective or not, but we'll see how it goes. So that's it. That's my process that I've come up with, applying 2,4-D in a spot application to try to control buckbrush. All right, so this is what I'm talking about when I say there's a difference between the buttbrush and the buckbrush. I think they're two distinct plants. This, you can see the leaves, I mean, they look very similar. I could be totally out of my mind, but this is the little button that they produce that allegedly ducks will eat. This is more what I refer to as the buckbrush. It's a different leaf structure. The leaves are distinctly different. These are they're both elliptical in shape, but these are a little bit longer and pointier than these. Now, it's a difference between an immature plant and a more mature plant, but these leaves do look different. And I've seen some back here in the back. Right over here, actually, are a couple visible, and in the back I saw some last week. I'm gonna leave this guy alone. I can't promise that I will leave him alone forever, but I'm leaving him alone today. He's not gonna get 2,4-D'd, and we'll see. I eventually may take him out if I want to push this bank back a little bit. But for now, at least that's what I'm saying. Like I said, that looks like button brush as opposed to buckbrush. I'm trying to get rid of the buckbrush right here. I'll leave this stuff if I can. If it comes down to me choosing between the button brush and more open sky, more room for rice, then the button brush is gonna go. But anyway, thought I'd show you that difference. Well, that's it for buckbrush eradication day in the big hole. I hope that was helpful. I hope it works as much as anything. This is new territory for me. I'm pretty confident it won't kill the rice. It will kill smartweed, like I said, and hopefully it kills buckbrush. So that's it for that one. That's how I'm trying to control it. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, if you think I'm doing this wrong, if you've done something different, let me know how you control buckbrush, because I really want to get rid of it, right? So anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, I'm Bruce. You're watching Fowl Play Outdoors.